Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not to the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger. Daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments down below. Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting the share so other people can spam the like button. Let's get this party started, y'all. What's up, y'all? How's everyone feeling? Out of 10. As of the time recording, Bitcoin currently sitting at $108,000. Almost even. Even Steven. If we're even, I'm leaving. If we're even, I'm leaving. Again, I'm not willing to classify this as a breakout or a rejection just yet. We're just chopping along here. Not oversold, not overbought, very neutral. So this is getting to be a very decision point for Bitcoin. So one of two things is going to happen. Either we're going to break out of this, get daily body closes at 110. That would be a clean confirmation breakout, or we're going to get rejected and come back to about $102,000, $103,000. As of the time of recording, though, on the weekly, I do want to put this out. This is the highest weekly close that Bitcoin has ever closed in history. So on the weekly, on the bigger time frames, it's looking really, really good. On the shorter time frames, it's looking indecisive. So we will see where Bitcoin is going to go as far as that goes. We've had across the downside on the 5 hour, but we'll see. Can this hold here? That's what I anticipate. I anticipate us, though, over the next couple of days to sort of waddle our way out of here, getting into the $110,000 mark. XRP is having a really good day today. It got as high as $2.30. And it's definitely in an uptrend now. This is a clean reversal from this downtrend. It's deep into accumulation. This is a clear bear trap. The next target I have is $2.43. I do think it's going to get rejected there, come back to 220, reaccumulate a little bit, chop its way higher before getting into the macro targets of $5, $8, $12, so on. Ethereum has gotten back into the level that I wanted to see it. We talked about this 2 days ago. I said I didn't want to see it get too far below there, but can we get back in this range, at the bottom of the range, and confirm this as a bear trap? That's exactly what it looks like it's happened for Ethereum. So the next thing is getting to the top of the range, 2,900. And I think it's going to happen pretty quickly. And the thing is, when that happens, and that is going to really start to pull the Bitcoin dominance down with it. Ethereum, to me, is the key to the puzzle, the key to the castle, the key to the puzzle as to everything that is going to happen. That is the key. So all eyes are going to be on Ethereum for the next little while. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Still chopping along at the 1618, the micro 1618. We haven't put in any lower lows, but we haven't put in any higher highs either. We've just been chopping here for the past week or so. I want to see what we're looking like on the weekly. Okay, so this is something of note. We do have a bearish divergence forming on the weekly, and we've had a cross to the downside. So this is a bigger time frame, so this could take a while to play out, but it is definitely something of note that on the weekly has just got a cross to the downside on the RSI, and we definitely can spot a bearish divergence happening as the price is rising, but the RSI is on a downtrend. So that is definitely something of note. And we're going to keep an eye on that. And I think that Ethereum is the key to when that's actually going to play out. And with that, let's get into your guys' questions, comments, concerns. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know. Spam that like button. Hit the share so other people can't spam that like button. What up, Ski? How are you, brother? 10 out of 10 here, waiting for that run up. It reminds me a lot of the last July, the last summer. Just kind of just grueling our way out of here. can you look at Bitcoin? I just looked at Bitcoin, brother. I think excited for November. Yeah, November to me is, that's what I've said all along. That's when the euphoria is going to be. And I still think that. If the ETH sell-off down to 2,400, that's plausible. I do think with Ethereum that this was a bear trap right in here. So us getting below this, let me go on the daily. Us taking this low out here, 2,100, I don't think is going to happen. So 2,400, sure. That wouldn't even be a lower low. That would still be a higher low. That's definitely on the cards then. So this wick down here got you to 23.75. So could we wick to 2,400? Sure. Especially if Bitcoin pulls back to 103, 104, 105, somewhere in that range. If it gets rejected off the top of this range here where we're at, that's definitely in the cards. My prediction, though, is it's not. I think we're going to break out of here in the next few days. That's what I think is going to happen. But it's very plausible that it would get rejected, come back to the 103, 104 range, reaccumulate for a little bit, and then go higher. That would be the same sort of setup that we had from last July through last August, that just grueling down in the summer months before finally breaking out and doing so very violently. That's basically what would be happening. When do you think ETH staking might happen? In what regards do you mean? Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the mouse in the house. Yeah, Savage, I appreciate you. When did you say euphoria would be in your opinion? The peak of euphoria, in my opinion, is in November. I've been saying that for a while, but I do think we kick off the euphoria. That's the next phase, is kicking it off. But the peak of it is in November, in my opinion. Do you check the ISM chart? It correlates perfectly with the total 3 stablecoin dominance. ETF, ETH staking. Yeah, that could be a big thing that's really going to kick the next leg for Ethereum off. Ethereum really, in a lot of regards, has just really been underperforming Bitcoin. And I think it's well overdue, to the point that it's going to do some pretty crazy things. And, we know the adage from Bitcoin to Ethereum to blue chips to mid caps to low caps, but everyone kind of abandoned that last summer. But I think that that's still the play here. Like, I don't think that there's that much gains left in Bitcoin. I think that Bitcoin might go to 138, it might go to 207, but that last 50 to 100%, we're really going to start to see that rotation of capital. And that's what we call alt season. Everyone's like, what? Ski, retail is broke. And to that, I would say the top 1% own 89% of the wealth. The top 10% own 99% of the wealth. So when we're saying we're waiting for retail, what we're really saying is we're waiting for that last 1 to 11% move. I will not be waiting. Last November, we had elections. Why do you think this November is euphoria? The Bitcoin seasonality chart, the average return for Bitcoin in November is 40%. So over 12 years of trading, we've seen every November has been an average Bitcoin return of 40%. Okay, so it's not like that's the only one. The average return, including the FTX collapse, which was the worst November that we ever had, including that, the average ROI for Bitcoin in November, it is the most profitable month for Bitcoin. April and November are the most profitable months for Bitcoin. Let's see if I can find it. Season... monthly. Let's see if I can find this. I always have a hard time finding this graph. Here we go. Here it is right here. Boom. So we can go. Come on. Oh my God. Of course they want me to pay something. Okay, so here's the graph. I don't know if it's going to let me show you or not. I'll try again. I'm going to try it one more time. Okay. It's not going to let me. But you can see. I'll tell you the numbers. So January, the average return's 11%. 14% for February, 11% for March. April is 38.6%. Again, that is the second highest performing month. The highest performing month, this is over a decade of data, from 2010 through 2023. This includes the FTX collapse. And then also, it doesn't include last year, but we know that last November was it was about 40% as well. So 40.1% is the average return for Bitcoin in November, over a decade of data. In fact, that's 15 years of data. Okay, this isn't just cherry picking. 15 years of data. The average return for Bitcoin in November is 40%. That is about approximately 5 or 6 years of stock market gains. That's what Bitcoin does in November on average. Pepe is looking good. I think so. VeChain thoughts. I like VeChain a lot. 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents. Those are my targets. Can you look at XRP on the daily? We looked at XRP earlier in the live stream. I'm encouraged with XRP. It's clearly on an uptrend. This clearly was a bear trap to me. And we are making higher highs and higher lows at this point. We're flirting with taking out the macro higher high. In fact, we already have, if you count this wick. So the next target for me is $2.43. I think we're going to get rejected there. Come back to about $2.20 before going off to about $5. I am very encouraged with XRP, how it's been holding up, how it's been performing. It looks very good to me. Thoughts on Gala? Too much inflation for me. VeChain looks so bad that it's probably going to mark up soon. It looks bad at what? Like, what determines you as bad? To me, VeChain has the same chart as ADA, has the same chart as Bitcoin back in 2013. Like, I'll show you. Like, here we go. Let me show you. So let's go to Bitcoin. Show you exactly what I'm talking about right here. So this is the base. Like, this is the chart right here. This is what VeChain looks like. That's exactly what VeChain looks like. Tell me that this isn't what VeChain looks like. Tell me that this isn't what ADA looks like. Tell me that this isn't what 80% of the cryptocurrency market looks like. Here's the end of the story. Here is the end of the story. Here is the end of the story. Here is the end of the story. It looks bad. In what metric are we talking about that it looks bad? Chainlink has the same chart. Exactly. What metric are we talking about? This is Bitcoin from 2013. Okay. Lots of coins look exactly like this. On the top is Bitcoin from 2013 through 2016. In the middle, we'll do VeChain. Doesn't matter. You can eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So many coins look exactly like this. Why? It's the hint as to what is next. Everything that everyone told you is canceled is next. When everyone said alt season's canceled, retail's broke, I'm telling you what is next. Here's Chainlink. Chainlink has the same chart. Let's do VeChain. All right, look, let's break it down here. On the top is Bitcoin. In the middle is Chainlink from 2021 through present day. On the bottom is VeChain from 2021 through present day. On the top is Bitcoin from 2013 through 2016. And what you have is your parabolic rise, your parabolic rise, your parabolic rise. Your distribution, which is a topping structure, distribution, distribution. Then you have your markdown, which is what we call a bear market, markdown, markdown. Then you go into accumulation, which is the long, boring bottom period. Accumulation, long, boring bottom period. sign of strength, which is that first move out of the bottom, sign of strength, that first move out of the bottom, sign of strength, the first move out of the bottom. Back test, reaccumulate, back test, reaccumulate, back test, reaccumulate. Move higher than the sign of strength, move higher than the sign of strength, move higher than the sign of strength. Back test, reaccumulate. Bitcoin was violent. This was a 40% correction, by the way. Plus 42% correction from the move higher to the back test. 42% correction. How many days was this? 51 days, 43% correction. Move higher, back test of the prior range, reaccumulation starting to chop up. Back test, reaccumulation starting to chop up. Here is the end of the story. That's the next phase. So I would ask, like, what metric are we saying that VeChain looks bad? Because to me, that's my favorite macro chart. Macro. Could all the bots be the cause of the similarities? If you're saying bots as in market makers, like the market makers, yeah, that is the similarities. But that's who runs the show, is the apex predators, the market makers. Same chart. Yes, VeChain, Dent, AVAX, all the same chart. Listen, bro, we could go all day. There's so many coins. I would argue 85% of the market looks exactly like what we just showed you. 85% of the market looks exactly like that same setup. Why do they all look the same? Because they're all going to do the same thing at the same time. Okay? Are you bull run targets, alts 2025, few years time? Yeah, still 2025. Listen, it's boring, boring, boring until it is not. Until it is not. I want you to think about this from last year, Redemption. Think about this from last year. So I have this fractal right here. I want you to think about Bitcoin. I want you to think about the altcoins, because I'm pretty sure you were here during this time, right here. Okay? So this is Bitcoin during this grueling summer, just making lower lows, lower lows, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, just grueling down. Right? Bitcoin went from 74K all the way down to 49K. But it was grueling. It was terrible. None of it was fun. The altcoins were getting crushed even worse. I want you to think about that. And then the second we popped out of here, how euphoric, how quickly things got. In a matter of 132 days from the wick bottom, Bitcoin does 120% move. But that wasn't like most of the move actually was from here. In a matter of 44 days. And like how quickly the sentiment of the market changed in 44 days. How quickly it changed. It went from like recession. Like that's all I heard about. All my newsfeed was talking about was recession, recession, recession. That's it. That's all anyone was talking about. Is it the Great Recession or is it just going to be a little recession? That's all we heard about. And then all of a sudden, 44 days later, nothing quite like price to change sentiment. People are aping into the most nonsensical, pump.fun meme coin. How quickly things can change. So are you asking me, is it going to be 2025? Like, listen, that transition, we think it's going to be a long, grueled out transition. I'm here to tell you it is not. Evening ski. Mostly all the same. VeChain targets, 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we think in our brains there's going to be a nice transition where we're going to transition from, oh, we're in this terrible, awful times, and then we're going to transition into like, oh, it's nice, it feels good, and then we're going to transition into, this is good, okay, everyone start to buy now, and then we're going to keep transitioning, That's not how it goes. It transitions from recession, World War III, to peak euphoria in 30, 40 days. There is no good, proper transition. Okay? That doesn't exist. It never has. Hey, Ski, do you like AVAX? It made lower low, lower high on the macro structure. Doesn't look bullish compared to the blue chips with similar structure. I do like AVAX, but I think you have to look at the market cap, right? Same thing for Solana. So Solana's like price chart did not look great at one point, but if you look at the market cap, it did not. So same thing. AVAX did not put in a lower low on the market cap, which I've said this 100 times. Market cap is the true price, right? I don't care what the XRP army tells you. Market cap is the true price. So when looking at the market cap, it did not. But even if it did, I would just call it the spring. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Like Bitcoin also put in a lower low back in August of 2024, right? So you could be like, and a lot of people did do this, right? They said, lower low, we're cooked, recession. That's what happened. Lower low is not always what you think it is. A lot of times in Wyckoff, a lower low is the spring. So technically, the selling climax in Wyckoff accumulation, the climax of selling, the absolute bottom, the secondary test goes lower. And the spring goes even lower. And what does that mean? That's a lower low, a lower low. Traders will be like, we're going crazy. We're going way lower. But that's what a bottoming structure looks like. Hi. Evening, Ski. Good evening. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's GRT look? I'm not super bullish on GRT. Too much inflation for me. Definitely boring. Yeah, I remember for sure. We took off. You got to be positioned for it. That's correct. You got to be positioned because there is no like get out of your brains right now. Like I don't want to be hyperbolic either. I don't want to be like FOMO hyperbolic. That's definitely not my intention right now. But I do want everyone to understand the gravity, the severity of there is not this proper transition that we think is going to happen in our brains. That doesn't happen. It just flips quickly. And you might think, well, like what's going to cause it? I'm telling you right now, the price is what causes it. The price. That's what causes people to feel good about it. Nothing else. The price. Nothing like price will change sentiment. Nothing. Nothing. It could be the most bullish news you ever heard in your life. If Bitcoin crashes 20%, people are going to feel bad about it. It could be the worst news you ever heard in your life. If Bitcoin pumps 20%, guess what? People are going to feel awesome about it. Nothing like price changes sentiment. What does that mean? How people feel about where we're at has everything to do with what the price is doing. Nothing more. It shouldn't be that way. That's not real, right? And that could get you into a lot of trouble. But that's the reality, especially on the macro, and for the masses. We love buying the top, Ski. Did you order your Solana, Skeeter? Did I order my Solana? If I 5X from portfolio, I'm going to get Ski face tattooed on me. Will be my first tattoo. No, bro. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You mean when you 5X your portfolio, not if. When you 5X your portfolio. How do I know the price? By looking at the market cap. You have to do some ROI. If you're asking me like are you asking me how to predict the price based off of market cap? Is that what you're asking me? I think that's what you're asking me. I think that's what you're asking me. So basically you need to look at the market cap of something because that is the true price. That is the absolute true price. In Ski we trust. Trust in yourself. Ski, still a great time to buy? I think so. I think it's a good time to accumulate. Everywhere all at once at the same time. That's right. That's right. So example, like if I were to overlay two charts for you, like if we were to look at Solana on market cap on the top, and then Solana on price at the bottom. So this can be kind of tricky, right? So back here, when was this? All right. So this was an example when it really felt like, if you looked at the price action, it really felt like we lost this, but we didn't. So it was at 53 billion, basically at the same exact price, but it looks like on the price, we were significantly lower than what the market cap was. If I put a line here at all of the critical levels here, and let me get rid of this Fibonacci so it looks a little bit cleaner. Let's get rid of all this. So let's try to make this look really clean for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Like when we look at all of the touch points, it didn't lose it on market cap, but it did lose it on price. And that's what I'm saying. Like the price, the market cap is the true price. That's the structure you should be looking at, if at all possible. And if you're asking me, like, how do you come up with your targets based off of market cap? Well, it's the same way. You pull your Fibonacci, so like from the top to the bottom. And then what I would do is ROI from here. So if ROI from here to the 1618 is a 1.3x to a 3x. So then, like, how do you do that on price? 1.3 to 2x. So 130% puts you at, this is just a micro pull, but that's 345. And a 3x on the micro pull is $600. So there you go. That's a micro pull, not the macro, but there you go. That's a micro. Those are micro targets. That's how you translate the market cap to price. Still bullish on Solnic to 7 cents. Yes, Solnic will reach 7.5 cents by the end of the bull market, or I will shave my beard, period. Solnic is my number one 100x play. It will reach 10 cents is my low case. $1 is my medium case. $5.89 is my bull case. Bitcoin to 60K. Here we go. Who's we? We? There's no we. Jesse, there's no we, Jesse. We? There's only your shenanigans and your sloppiness. We? There's no we. I can't find Sonic. It's on Radium. It's on Radium. It's on Phantom. It's on Soulflare, Jupiter, SetOX. If you had to describe Sonic as a football team from any time, who would you choose? Ooh. Okay, I'm going to go college football here. Okay. We're going to go college football. What football team from any era is Solnic? We're going to say college football. And we're going to do the 2014 Ohio State National Championship. That team was stacked. But that team had an early loss against Virginia Tech, and everyone counted them out. Also, quarterback got hurt. Quarterback went down. Backup quarterback went down. Then Ezekiel Elliott caught fire. The movement caught fire. Ezekiel Elliott ran for 250 yards against the Wisconsin Badgers. He then proceeded to run 280 yards against that almighty SEC Alabama defense. He ran up and down and sideways all over that almighty SEC defense. And then they proceeded to go. They were 14-point dogs. Everyone counted them out. Beat the brakes off them boys. He ran 280 yards against that almighty SEC defense. Smacked them boys. Proceeded to go against the Oregon Ducks. 14-point dogs. 250 yards against them boys. So everyone counted them out. No one believed in them, but they had something special. That's the Sonic in football teams. Bosa defense touchdown. Where to buy Solnick easily? The easiest place. Here's the easiest thing to do. All right, I'm going to tell you. Download Phantom Wallet. All right, here you go. I'm going to give you a step-by-step. Phantom Wallet. Phantom. It's a purple ghost. All right? Wherever you buy Solana, whether it's Coinbase, PayPal, I don't know where you buy Solana. The easiest place to buy Solana. You're going to send it to your Phantom Wallet. Okay? And then you're going to swap. At the bottom, you'll see this little thing like this. You're going to swap Solana for Solnick natively on the app. That's the easiest way to do it right now. Interesting. Didn't realize need to start looking at market cap movements. Neither did Rose, even though the price did. In fact, exactly. Market cap tells you the truth. Regardless of what the XRP Harmony tells you. It says, don't talk about my Bama. Nothing but the tide. Listen, you got to understand the context of what I'm saying here. Okay, there was a period. You got to understand. Let's back up here. Hold on. We got to understand the context. Alabama was a 15-point favorite in that game. Nobody believed in Ohio State. Nobody. The SEC at that moment in time, they said that the Big Ten cannot compete. There's too much speed. Too much power. That was the height of the SEC. And, nobody picked Ohio State. Except it was truly Ohio against the world at that time. What's the current price of Solnick? Let's see. $0.041. Current market cap, okay, 0.00406. Current market cap of $3.86 million market cap. The contract address is XTZ9. Last four. Peanut coin. I think Peanut and Pingu is looking pretty good. Where are we on the Wall Street cheat sheet? Where are we on the Wall Street cheat sheet? What is that chart called? Is it literally called the Wall Street cheat sheet? Yes, it is. All right, where are we on this? Where are you? Let's see. Let me give you my thoughts. Probably disbelief. This isn't gospel. I'd say briefly after disbelief, maybe hope somewhere in this target. Yeah, somewhere in here. Belief, I think, starts at 118, 130 for Bitcoin. That's why I say it's going to be the beginning of euphoria, not the end, not the November, but the beginning of it. And that's what it looks like. Where are we at right now? I think somewhere between disbelief and hope. A recovery is possible. I think some people have a little bit of hope. But definitely that last wick for Bitcoin, that was definitely disbelief. Of just the pure exhaustion of like, really again with this. When we went to, what was it, 98K? That was definitely disbelief. Like just pure exhaustion again with this. Really? After I just got my hopes up? Yeah. Do you think the alts are in a different sheet? Depression? Yeah, I do think so. Yeah, I think that they're a beat or two, but that's a good point. I do think that the alts are probably a beat or two behind. So where are the altcoins? Yeah, probably depression. Because they're starting to round out like this. Probably just past depression, somewhere between depression and disbelief for the alts. I do think that that's a good point, that the alts are probably a beat or two behind Bitcoin. That's right. But they'll catch up so quickly, too. So it's not a, 1-to-1 ratio. I think that they'll probably be in euphoria before Bitcoin's in euphoria. A lot of news coming this month, bull or bear. I think most of the news that we're getting is bullish. Where would you long uni at? I think long any dips you get in uni is a decent place right now, because it's one of the few that actually has been on an uptrend of the yeah, if you could get $4.4 billion market cap, that would be a good price. That's a 4% correction. How long is this time frame? What time frame? What about Trump's tariffs? Would that impact? Okay, again, I've said this once. I've said it 100 times. There is no singular event that the markets don't like. What markets do not like is uncertainty of events. And you can only have an event, whether it be wars, whether it be tariffs, whatever the case may be. That can only be a thing that discourages markets for so long. And then eventually what happens is the markets get used to it. So it's not World War III. It's not tariffs. It's not the Fed cutting rates. It's not, none of the events is what the markets don't like. The uncertainty is what markets don't like. And once they are certain, they no longer don't like it, or they no longer are unsure about it. Alts are cooked next month. Everyone will be convinced it's over. Disbelief. I like the way you explain. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. If the bombs dropping didn't do it, tariffs definitely. Yeah, literally. That's such a good point. If literally the United States dropping bombs did not bring us lower, what is going to do it? Like, what event is going to... Like, that's the most uncertain, scary thing that can happen. Not trying to be hyperbolic. But literally, like, what is worse than that? Like World War III being on the cusp of like actually manifesting itself. There is no more uncertain event that happens. And that only brought us to 98K. Like, what's it going to take? Did I miss the live with Alex on Friday? No, me and Alex both took Friday off. I don't think I did a live stream at all on Friday. So Friday was the 4th of July. I don't know if you're in the States or not, but that is a big deal in the United States. The market cap thing you explained, can you explain it again? Calculating price. What's your thoughts on altcoin season? To me, that's next. Okay, so let's answer the altcoin season, and then we'll do the market cap thing. Altcoin season is next. That's what you're being fed, this nonsense that it's canceled, that, you know, all this crazy nonsense. To me, what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. Bitcoin is going to go to $118,000. Whether that's tomorrow, next week, next month, I'm not sure. There you go. I said it. I don't know when it's going to happen. But that's the first puzzle. That's the first domino, the major domino to fall. Bitcoin needs to get to 118,000. Okay? The next domino that's going to fall with that happening, Ethereum is going to go to somewhere between 2,900 and 3,300 because of the movement of Bitcoin. Okay, that's the next major domino to fall. This domino falling is going to pull Bitcoin dominance down drastically. And that is what's going to kick off the beginning of alt season. Okay? All right, now, how to calculate price to market cap. So I'm just going to do a micro Fibonacci pull on Solana's market cap. So you go from the top to the bottom. All right, and I'm going to go from this green line up to exactly where we're at right now, 80 billion. Okay, so if you were to go to the 1618, that's 151%. The 2618 is a 2.6%, 2.6x. Okay, so if I were to translate that 150 to 260 on price, 150 is 380. 260, and I know I have different prices. It's because I was a little bit more. 260 is 550. Okay, that's how you do it. You just translate the number to the price. And if you're confused, like why I got different numbers, it's because I did an actual Fibonacci. I was just more doing a like this is a more locked in Fibonacci, where the other one I was not. If you're like, oh, you had different numbers, Ski, that's why. Because the other one I didn't really care as much. I was just showing the thing, where this one I actually did the actual micro pull. So there you go. What up, Ski? What's up, fam? So listen, yeah, if you guys listen, just a quick reminder, I do offer portfolio review consultation, lifetime access to my course, lifetime access to my exclusive group. So if you want to do a portfolio review and get an exit strategy personalized, hit me up in the DMs. That is a service that I offer to help you navigate the market, because I think navigating it when it is calm, not euphoria, is the thing to do. Whether it be with me, yourself, or somebody else, I think you should have a plan in place now. Do you think some alts have peaked already? Which? Yeah, I think some alts have peaked. You'd be more likely on the ones that went hyperbolic in like ZBAC, I think is probably peaked. Some of the stuff that did really well more recently and already went parabolic, I think has peaked. ZBAC would be the top of the list. What do you think about XYO? I like XYO a lot. 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents. That's my high, medium, low. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. You're explaining it again. No problemo. Threshold. Make sure you guys drop a follow. Subscribe. So you never miss a video. I go live every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time. Be there or be square. If you're square, you're not around. Yeah, ARG. I think like ZBAC would be the top of the list. Most of them I don't think have, but ZBAC would be the top of that list. Dege, D-E-G-E. All right, we'll take a look at that. Which coin will do better, VeChain or Gala in this bull run? Not even close, VeChain. And it's a simple reason. Again, market cap tells you the truth. So what does market cap really explain? Or what does it really put in your face? What's happened and why it's so important? Okay, so let's take it back up here. So this is a good teaching lesson. All right. The only thing that matters for price, the only thing that matters is supply plus demand. Okay? Price does not equal if you cure cancer. Price does not equal if you're the World Economic Forum. Price does not equal if you the CBDCs. Price does not equal if Trump tweeted this out. Price does not equal if you cure cancer, if you walk on water, if you turn water into wine. Price does not equal none of those things. Price equals supply plus demand. So we measure the demand based off of market cap, and the supply is the total supply of the coin. Okay, inflation, right? So market cap will really give you a good indication of the supply. So if a project is dumping supply, they're diluting the supply. Why does the US dollar suck? Because the federal government continues to dilute it by printing more and more money every single day. In fact, it's lost 98% of the purchasing power since 1971 because they double the supply that is existing every 4 years. And that continues to dilute the product, giving it less and less purchasing power. Okay? Gala, for example, most of the inflation is done for Gala. 90% is circulating. That's great news long term. And I would say that Gala has a good chance of doing really well over the next 5 years, over the next 7 years, over the next 10 years, right? But one of my most popular videos that I ever did, and we could look it up, one of my most popular videos that I ever did was Gala, my Gala prediction. And when I went over that video, the total supply that was circulating was 7 billion. I distinctly remember this, and we can show it to you. This is back in 2022. All right, so let me try to show you this because I think this is important. If we go to your boy Ski, by the way, you should all type in your boy Ski and drop a follow on YouTube and subscribe. So if we go to one of my most popular videos, I think it's a short actually. Gala, there we go. All right,
XLM,
I don't
you want
to show you this
get
full.
it.
Look at that.
Current
no
price
beard,
of
by the
11.
way. So this is in 2022.
Do Gala, please. You want
I'm
it?
gonna mute this because I don't want it to. I can't hear what it's saying. But I'm gonna just pause it when it shows the supply so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is in 2022. This is only 2.5 years ago. All right. The total supply was 35 billion at the time. Oh, there you go. Look, circulating supply. I'm gonna round up and call it 7 billion. This was 2.5 years ago. The circulating supply now is 45 billion. They have 7x'd the supply. from 2022 until now. The dilution of that. That means you got to take a 7x off the table, off rip. Because if you dilute it by 7x, that means that 7x does not exist. Because the market cap, look how much higher the market cap is than the price. The market cap of Gala looks like VeChain. The market cap of Gala looks like ADA. The market cap of Gala looks like Bitcoin back in 2013. It looks amazing. The price, though, is dead because they diluted it by 7x. Where VeChain did not. Okay, if we look at VeChain, we can see. If you look at, and all you got to do is just take a mental note. Just go to all market cap, price. You want them to be similar. You want them to be in the same flavor. We know 99.16% is already circulating, and that's how it's been for years. How low you think Bitcoin dominance will go when alt season kicks in? Low 50s, high 40s is my prediction. How high can ADA go next bull run? $20 to $30. $15 to $25. What's the retracement on Matic? $4. High, medium, low, VeChain, 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents. Are we done? Who's we?
We? There is no we.
How high can Solana go? My bear case is, in fact, 7.5 cents or I will shave my beard. That's my prediction. My low case is 10 cents. Medium case is $1. Bull case is $5.89. What do you think about XLM? I think XLM is solid. Crypto winter coming soon. Yes, after euphoria. After Bitcoin goes to 207,000. After lots of the altcoins will do a 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x. Yes. Yes. Soon is yes. Soon. It could be a year. But the amount of gains that's going to happen before then is going to be a lot. Yes, $5.89. That is my parabolic case for Solnic. 7.5 cents, not 75 cents. My bear case, I will shave my beard if Solnic does not reach 7.5 cents by the end of the bull market. I will shave my beard. That's how confident I am. High, medium, low for ADA, $2, $4, $6, $8. High, medium, low, low, medium, high, and extremely high. In how much time, bro? That's this bull market. 7.5 cents, my low case. Medium case, $1. Bull case is $5.89. All right, listen. So that would be, by the way, to get to $5.89, Solnic needs about a $5.6 billion market cap. So let's see how many coins have a market cap of right now before the euphoria starts. It would not even be in the top 10. And that's before the euphoria starts. When the euphoria starts, guess what? All these that are a billion, like VeChain, all of these, all the top 70, in my opinion, are going to be above 5 billion, 6 billion, 10 billion. All of these, or a lot of them. The market cap will be 5 to 10 billion on most of these top 100 projects. It probably won't even be a top 100 coin. So this bull market or the next? Thoughts on Dogecoin? A lot of people are asking about Dogecoin. Let's see. I don't know nothing about it. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Are we talking about DGen? SEI? I got you, brother. Ah. I don't mind this chart. DEGE? I can't find DEGE. Where is it trade? What is it? A meme coin? Where it's not on Trading View. Right? All right, SEI. Yeah, if it's not on Trading View, I can't look at it. SEI looks good. It's starting to round out, put in higher highs, higher lows. Retracement of 50 cents. Micro parabolic 160, which is in confluence with the macro price discovery. Macro parabolic is 260. So that would be my high, medium, low. Would be 48 cents, $1.69, and 250. Have to use Dex tools. Listen, I can't use Dex tools on TikTok. Sorry. I just realized a lot of people gifted me. Benz, thanks for the heart. John, thanks for the heart. Benz, thanks for the you're awesome. Thank you for the go popular. John, thank you for the community. The real monkey, thank you for the heart. Kevin, thanks for the heart. Yes, savages. XRP, $5, $8, $12. That's my high, medium, low. Your thoughts on Jupiter? I like Jupiter a lot. The project. Thoughts on ZBEC? A good entry. There's a decent chance that ZBEC has topped, to be honest. That was probably it because it did a 9x. But I'm interested, and we talked about this the other day. Like it being a falling knife. I put it right here. I put my Fibonacci. 0022, so 0.2 of 1 penny. That's where I'm interested in ZBEC. We're very close. But this hasn't started like showing signs of accumulating. This is just a falling knife structure. What is next is going to be this, just chopping sideways and boring. I would like to see a little bit of that at about 0022. That's where I might be interested in ZBEC. I'm not really interested in it until it starts trading sideways. But we talked about this 2 days ago. It must have dropped. How much did it drop from then? 25% from 2 days ago? How much is ZBEC down over the last week? So it's pretty close to my first target. But again, like I don't want to take a stab at it until I see some sort of like a cross on the RSI. Something to signal that a bottom is in. I don't like to just take a stab at a falling knife like that until technically in Wyckoff, what you would want to see is if I were to draw it like this. Let me give you another thing that you could look for is breaking this. If you were to break that, it doesn't have to be violently to the upside. It could just be trading sideways for a little bit. That would probably be enough for me to take a stab. But I don't have any interest. I have my eye on it, ZBEC, but I don't have interest in it just yet. Is VeChain hitting 40 cents a gamble? I don't think it's a gamble. I think it's super plausible. All right, guys. All right, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for rocking with me. That's going to be it for this time. I'm going to go eat dinner and then play the new NCAA because I'm a nerd and I love that shit. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will be live tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central Time. Be there, be square. If you're square, you're not around. If you want to get a personalized exit strategy set up for you and a consultation one-on-one, lifetime access to my course, lifetime access to my group where I put out my trades, my calls, anytime I buy or sell, you can set that up with me. If you're interested in setting something like that up, hit me up in the DMs. I will never message you first. All right, those are scammers. For the love of God, do not redeem. Do not get scammed. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, love, prosperity.